Happy Pokemon Scarlet Violet Day. Let's get into some tips and tricks that you need to know when you start off a brand new playthrough. I'm going to go through a lot of very useful information in this video that will help you guys throughout your playthrough without spoiling anything, without spoiling the story and your experience in the game. It will just give you a lot of valuable knowledge that you might not pick up straight away in the game itself. So let's get into that. First tip, guys, the starters are shiny locked. Don't waste your time resetting your game and trying to get yourself a shiny or a hidden ability one. You're just going to get the starters that are presented to you, and they're always going to be like that. So you will be able to breed for shinies later on. Breeding is definitely in the game and all that, and it's the usual conventional way in a sense, almost. And you will be able to do that if you want to get a shiny starter, but that will be a little later down the line, a little bit. So you will not have to waste time at the very beginning of the game trying to reset for one. Get your starter and go enjoy the game. Next up, guys, shinies do spawn in the overworld. They do not make any noise, however. They do not have an animation until you engage them in a battle, and that is what it looks like right now. This is the first shiny I've ever encountered in the game, and it's normally red. So if you don't know what this Pokemon is, you'll see it soon enough. The blue one is shiny, and that is the first one I've encountered. You will be able to see them in the overworld. However, some Pokemon, some shinies are not that obvious, so you'll have to know what they look like. Next tip is there's 3 different types of items you can pick up in the overworld, and one of them is these glinting items here, like I'm about to pick up an Oranberry. That is an item that will always spawn there. It's not necessarily always going to be an Oranberry. That item will change and respawn every day. The other ones are these yellow Pokeballs. These are all TMs. I recommend picking them all up because not only will it empower you to actually make that TM at the Poke Centers, most of them are also very good, most of them. And so you may as well pick them all up as you see them because you're going to get a hell of a lot of strong moves out of them. Finally, the last pickable item is this. This is a red Pokeball item like you would have known from many, many games in Pokemon. And these are all fixed items positioned around the world that do not respawn. So you will be able to pick them up, but if you notice rare candies and like experience candies and you want to be able to get them again in the same playthrough, take a note of where they are. Next tip, guys, is if you want to get an edge and an advantage over a Pokemon, you can hit them from behind like this. And that will give you 2 free turns. He will not be able to react, and you'll be able to catch him more easily that way. You can do that to any Pokemon in the game as long as they're roaming like that, and you will get 2 turns without an issue. So let's just show you here. Rock throw. Oh wait, this will kill it. Oh, never mind. Some Pokemon are skittish in this game, like Wiglet. If you run over to them, they will go underground and you will not be able to obtain them. So you will have to crouch with X and try to sneak up to them so you can catch these kind of Pokemon. And again, he's facing away from me, so again, you can just hit him from behind and get an advantage. It will let you know as well. You caught them unawares and whatnot. You caught the wild Wiglet off guard. You can go ahead and get 2 free turns there. Next tip is you do not have climbing and flying and swimming at the beginning of the game. You don't have them, so you will have to earn them. And for most average players who are going in blind to this game, you're not going to get them for a while. You're going to be having to play through a lot of the story to get them. However, I will have a completely separate video accessible for you guys in order to get all 3 of those mechanics, the climbing, flying, and swimming, at the beginning of the game. If you are interested in doing that, you can go check out that video after this. Another detail is some areas of the map are in fact inaccessible. I know it says it's open world and stuff, but as you can see up here, we got an entire gym leader and a whole area up here you cannot get to until you do some other parts of the story. You're not going to be able to access up here at all. So you will have to keep that in mind when you're exploring. You can explore and find out for yourself what is accessible and what's not accessible, but you will find that not everything is accessible without the means of transports. Next tip is, guys, if you want to catch a Pokemon on your team, catch it at a low level, because when you catch it at a low level and level it all the way up pretty high, it will stay obedient to you without having to have the gym badges for them. Now, if you catch a Pokemon at a high level instead, it won't be obedient to you. As you can see, I have a level 27 Knuckle stack in my party. This Pokemon is completely obedient to me, and I do not have any badges in the game at all yet. I caught the Knuckle stack at level 10, so it is obedient to me because I caught it at a low level and leveled it all the way up that way myself. If you're wondering, the first gym will get you up to level 25 obedience, so you can catch Pokemon at a higher level then. When you're doing the story, you're going to end up facing against a bunch of Titans, and good news is you can catch those Titans. Once you've finished the story aspect of those fights, you'll be able to go back to the exact same area and catch the Titan, and this is the Cloth Titan, and it will come with a Titan mark. Sadly, the marks are not seeming to be working here in the game yet. Maybe that'll be fixed in the patch or something. Maybe it'll be fixed in a later patch if it isn't yet. Anyway, this one here is supposed to have a Titan mark, and it does have it, it's just not appearing. And comparing to another Pokemon that does not have any mark, it will tell you, this is a different Pokemon, it will tell you this Pokemon does not have any mark. So go back to Cloth, it has a mark, we just need to get it to show up. If you want to make more money throughout your playthrough, you can get to this area fairly early, which is on the map right over here. In Medali on the East Poke Center, okay? The East Poke Center, and talking to this guy will give you some information about how to get the Amulet Coin. It's basically just involved just fighting a couple of trainers in this area and winning, and it's only going to be like 4 or 5 or 6 or something like that. And once you win, you'll get the reward of the Amulet Coin, which you will be able to use to double your money from battles. I know a lot of people might not do this, but I highly recommend going to your classes in school. First of all, some of them actually give you really useful information as long as you're paying attention. It doesn't really matter if you get the answers right or wrong, except for your exams. And they are essentially an extra side quest that is not really talked about. You'll be able to get a bunch of different little side quests through going to your classes, so I recommend you do that. And some of the rewards are quite nice. One of the first places you can get to in the game is this area, and this Poke Center is right outside the west gate. Actually, the areas that you are able to access and are intended to go to have terrible items in the Pokeballs. However, if you go to this Poke Center and you go south and jump across the river, you will immediately get a huge jump in items that you can get over here. I'll show you where you can go. So I'm going south from that Poke Center I showed you on the map. We'll just go right down here and across the river. Now, it's weird because you're actually only supposed to be able to swim across this river. You can actually walk a long way to get around there, but this is the quickest way to do this. And you can make this jump right here easily enough. I jumped a little short, but we're actually okay. And on this side of the river, all the items get an incredible level boost. You're going to be able to find Ultra Balls, rare candies, good TMs, and experience candies too, as well as a couple of medium experience candies on this side of the bank. So highly recommend if you guys want to get a little bit of a power up and get some good items in, you will be able to check out this side. This area goes around huge. Like, you'll be able to explore a huge area on this side and get loads of good items here. As well, the Pokemon are also a higher level. They can be around level 20 over here, so it's immediately from the beginning of the game an accessible area to get some higher level Pokemon and save you guys some time. This is what an outbreak looks like on the map, and they spawn straight away right after you've finished the tutorial, so you will be able to start shiny hunting and farming for whatever Pokemon you're interested in from outbreaks. And outbreaks have an extraordinarily huge number of spawns. If you can fight them and beat them, just keep sending your Pokemon out with R, and you'll probably be able to get a good shot at a shiny, but you'll also be able to get a lot of experience. So they do work differently from Pokemon Legends Arceus, but it's good to know if you were looking for certain Pokemon that you can do these. These change daily on a day-to-day basis, so do keep an eye out for that. Next up, guys, I highly recommend you keep the setting for autosave on. The game can crash. It might crash once or twice throughout a playthrough, so I recommend keeping it on like that. If you don't, make sure you're manually saving properly and you know what you're doing, because you may very well lose a bunch of play time if you do that. So just make sure you keep it on for now until that issue is fixed. Okay, I think that's gonna do it, guys, for the tips of a brand new playthrough for people who are going in. Hopefully the information in this video was useful. If it was, consider liking it, dropping a sub so you can stay on top of even more useful information to come. I promised you another video today as well as soon as the game went live that will give you access to climbing, swimming, and flying straight away at the beginning of the game. It's a really good guide. You'll be able to do it within 1 hour of playtime, if not less. And I highly recommend you go check that out. If you want to experience the entire full open world that's really with no boundaries, you can go check out that guide. And enjoy the rest of the videos as we go through them. It's the era of Gen 9. We have so many videos to go through, so many new videos to come, and I can't wait to share them with you. There's a bunch already in the works, and I'm going to release them over the course of the next couple of days. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, guys, bye!